Dear friends, once again, hello everybody. Paralympic integration commentators Maria Nokhina, Yekaterina Romanova, Anastasia Lisichenko, Olga Kopnina, and Vitaly Kasnivtsev are happy to welcome you. Very soon we're about to witness the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Winter Games, which have drawn the attention of the whole world over the last 9 days. In those days, we felt pride in the athletes' sportsmanship. They inspired us, they excited the viewers all around the world. After several years of tough work and training, the Paralympic athletes showed great results at these Paralympic Games. We witnessed captivating performances of the best athletes. We cheered, we rooted for everybody, every contestant, because they not only competed against each other, they competed against themselves. You know, at each and every game we visited, at every event we visited, the atmosphere was very warm, and the audience, the spectators, really cheered for all Paralympic athletes. Well, Paralympic athletes don't ask for special treatment. They want to be treated as real athletes, as bona fide athletes. They urge us to break down all made-up stereotypes. They're real champions, and their emblem means the unity of mind, body, and spirit. We see a wave going around the stadium. There were 72 medal events in 5 sports held at these games. 1,650 athletes from 45 countries participated in these Paralympic Games, and this festival of sport is continuing at the stadium. We see a new wave. There were several countries which made their debut at the Paralympic Games. Yes, Turkey, Brazil, and Uzbekistan. And I think it would be interesting for the guests to know that the Russian team has had a very strong showing. Yes, everybody warmly welcomed the Russian Paralympic athletes, and our Paralympic athletes
in 10 minutes.
have stolen the hearts of everybody. We have less than 10 minutes before the beginning of the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Winter Games, Sochi 2014. At the previous Games in Vancouver 2010, to remind you, there were 31 athletes and 29 athletes in Torino. And this time we had 67 Russian athletes, and our team won 30 silver, 28 silver, and 23 bronze medals, or 80 medals altogether. Do you know that we have actually exceeded the previous record, which was set in 1984 in Austria, and the Austrians won 70 medals, 34 gold medals, of which 34 were gold medals. In Vancouver, Russia also topped the medal count, having won 38 medals. It wasn't the first time that Russia won the medal count. In Torino in 2006, we were number 1 in terms of the number of medals won. We take pride in our Paralympic athletes. What we saw was truly sensational. The great sport events really excited and inspired all of us. I do hope that many people with disabilities, with impairment, will start doing sports, having seen the achievements of our Paralympic athletes. And we do hope that Russia will see many new sport clubs for different people with impairments. I think we should recall the heroes of these games. Number 1, 36-year-old Roman Petushkov, who won 6 gold medals. Where did he come from? Roman was born in Dmitrov, the town of Dmitrov, Moscow region. In his younger days, he did boxing, alpine skiing, judo. He had a car accident in 2006. Right after the accident, he went into Paralympic sports. Roman never thought of himself as a person with disability. He's a real fighter. who is the second one in terms of the medals won. Anna Schippel-Kuber, a German Paralympian, 20-year-old Paralympian, but she won 5 gold medals in alpine skiing, sit ski. She had a spine injury from childhood, but she really always dreamt of going into alpine skiing as her elder brothers, and she had tried sit skis in early age. Oftentimes Paralympians do different sports, and she's no exception. True enough, she is practicing swimming, horseback riding, cycling, and other sports. She's also going to school in Munich, University of Munich, and her life motto is now or never. And who's number 3? Number 3 is a French alpine skier, 20-year-old Maria Bachet. She's a 6-time world champion. But for the first time, she won a gold medal at the Paralympic Games. Of course, something needs to be said about the Russian sledge hockey team, which won the hearts of the Russian spectators. They made their debut at the Paralympic Winter Games, and they won the silver medals. You should have been at the stadium as they were playing the U.S. team. After the game was over, the spectators didn't want to let their heroes leave the field. I think that our spectators visited some of the sport events and felt the spirit of the games. And now we have only 6 minutes left before the closing ceremony. Everybody is looking forward to this. The very fact that Russia won the bid and hosted the Paralympic Games, it helped change Russia for the better. We hope that the Games will continue making and spreading positive effect across the country by creating more towns and cities, by turning them into barrier-free environment, by giving more opportunities and empowering people with disabilities. And I think that the consequences, the effect will be long-ranging. Russia is bidding goodbye to the Paralympic Games, but is sticking to the principle of barrier-free environment and opportunities without limits. That is why the ceremony is called Reaching the Impossible. Yes, Lida Castelli is the artistic director. She collaborated with Doc Jack. It features rousing music, breathtaking choreography, and beautiful visuals. It's called Reaching the Impossible, and it brings the Sochi 2014 Paralympic Winter Games to an end. Very soon we're about to immerse ourselves into beautiful imagery and great show of the closing ceremony. It should be mentioned that an artistic team of decorators and choreographers and other artistic people was involved in this ceremony. They created a grandiose and touching finale. They used more than 2,000 costumes, almost 1,500 different stage scenery elements. It should also be mentioned that the show will be attended by more than 460 volunteer performing artists. Over the last 2 months, they've been working relentlessly at their rehearsals for the ceremony we're about to see in about several minutes, in 4 minutes to be more exact. Okay, let us not jump the gun. Better tell our guests about the stadium we're at. Yes, we're at the Fish Stadium, which sits 40,000 spectators. It should be mentioned that it derives its name from one of the Caucasian peaks. Interestingly enough, if we were to look from an airplane at the stadium, it looks like a conch, a huge conch, a huge shell lying on the shore of the Black Sea. Yeah, it's a very lyrical image. But now on to more prosaic things. The stadium has an oval shape consisting of 2 elongated semicircular grandstands, eastern and western, once divided by 2 large aisles or passages, northern and southern passages. Next to each passage we can see a ramp or trapdoor. Should also be mentioned that closer to the center stage, towards the eastern stage, we see an inverted or an a stage. It's made of blue material resembling ice. It's called the protocol stage. It resembles an ice island resembling the shape of the Russian Federation. We see 3 flagpoles upon the protocol stage. Upon one of the flagpoles we see the Paralympic Games flag. Over the western eastern grandstands we see 2 large screens, and we see the flags of the participating countries flying under the roof of the stadium. Also under the roof of the stadium we have 204 luminous poles. We can change colors and thus create different moods. There are 12 meters each, and this luminous forest, light forest, will change its colors and change moods depending on the performances. They have more than 1 million LEDs. The stadium is not only beautiful, it's unique in terms of its technical specifications. Yes, the overall length of the portals is very long. There are 25 elevators, more than 40 trapdoors on the stadium. We have about a minute before the ceremony begins, and the stadium is sparkling with lights, is iridescent, and now we see the emblem of the Paralympic Games. The colors resemble the Paralympic Games emblem. The stands are lit with spotlights. Different torchlights are lit across the stands. People are getting anxious. They're anxiously waiting for the ceremony to begin. 30 seconds before the ceremony, spectators are in anticipation of the great show. It should be mentioned that the stands are almost completely filled with spectators, and we see waves rippling around the stadium. A wonderful show is about to begin. On the screens, we see a close-up of a Paralympian, a role model, who encapsulates the spirit of the Paralympic Games. So his face, he received the power of fire. We see a fireball in his hands. His arm muscles, 30, we see number 30. He's pushing himself up. He looks up at the flame. He grabs a barbell and he pulls himself up. He washes his face with water. 15, 10, and now we have the countdown. Now we're about to see the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Winter Games. We see the phrase "reaching the impossible" in Russian and English projected on the field of play. Around it we see broken ice. Outdoors we see a great fireworks display.
A celebration of the amazing Paralympic spirit.
Дамы и господа, добро пожаловать на церемонию закрытия Паралимпийских игр 2014 года в Сочи. Праздник неповторимого духа паралимпизма.
The stadium is half dimmed. We see people, cameras flashes all across the stadium. And we see now the wheelchair dancers appearing on the stage. Their costumes are lit with white LED bands. Their wheelchairs, the wheels are also lit with blue LED lights. And now they formed circle. They're spreading their arms apart. They're moving on their axis. The luminous forest has now turned blue. On the field of play, we see two circles, one within another, and the wheelchair dancers are moving along the circle. Now they've broken up in pairs. They're rotating, circling. We are hearing music by Alfred Schnittke, extraordinary musician of the second half of the 20th century. He wrote this tune, which is called Declaration of Love. It was written for the movie A Fairy Tale of Travels. From beneath the roof, we can see figures slowly descending towards the field of play. There are ladies, girls. They're descending with hoops above their heads. From the hoops, we see attached LED threads resembling cages, elongated cages. And there are two smaller cages. And so we see girls in tight clothes, in tight outfit. The lilac color is making those costumes lilac, turns them lilac. And the ladies are starting to rotate on their axis. And actually the LED threads are now moving upwards. And these figures are now resembling parasols or umbrellas. They're slowly descending. Now they're moving back up. The wheelchair dancers are leaving the field of play. On the field of play, we see the projection of the cosmic world, universe. We see stars, varicolored spots. Resembling the galaxy. Light is slightly changing and the parasols are turning greenish now. The ladies in mid-air are rotating. They're moving their hands up. They're making slow somersaults in the air. Now they're upside down. They're aerialists.
This scene was directed by Konstantin Vasilyev, the coach of the world champions and European champions of the wheelchair dances, and Kilo Hayes, a world-renowned aerialist and choreographer. Now the umbrellas go up, almost up to the ceiling of the field of play of the stadium. The ladies are performing different aerials, somersaults. The flashes of cameras on the grandstands are visible. Some umbrellas are closed and they resemble the cells again. The grandstands are admiring the show. The light is hushed, the light is dimmed, and now the luminous umbrellas are slowly leaving the field of play. They are moving to the southern passage. The ladies are like flying away. The light green, light blue flashes are being projected to the grandstands, which are filled with spectators, and we're bidding farewell to the ladies. So we say goodbye to them, and the audience is greeting them. On the field of play, from the technical rooms, there emerge groups dressed in white outfit. different.
Ladies and
And
gentlemen,
now
the president of
we
the
start
Russian
the
Federation,
ceremony of
Vladimir Putin,
bringing in
and the
and
president
raising
of
of the Russian national
International Paralympic
flag.
Committee, Sir Philip Craven.
The president of the Russian
Дамы
Federation,
и
Mr.
господа,
Putin, emerges on the official
Российской
presidential
Федерации
box, and
Владимир
he's
Путин
accompanied by
и
Sir Philip
президент
Craven,
Международного
president
паралимпийского
of the
комитета сэр
IPC.
Филипп Крейвен.
The national flag of the Russian Federation is carried by the Russian champions from the Sochi
On the Southern
2014
Passage,
Paralympic
outside of the
Winter
stadium,
Games.
the flag bearers are getting prepared to bring in the Russian national flag.
Спортсмены, чемпионы Паралимпийских зимних игр 2014 года в Сочи.
The flag bearers show up on the northern part of the stadium, and they're accompanied by the Symphony No. 5 of Peter Tchaikovsky. They are moving to the protocol stage. The flag bearers are taking the shortcut, the best line to the protocol stage near the eastern grandstand. That's where the flag of the Russian Federation would be raised. And the flag is being worn by Russian biathlon athlete Azat Karachurin, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Mikhaila Lisova, Russian biathlon athlete Alyona Kaufman, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Anna Milyanina, a Russian alpine skier Alexander Frantseva, a Russian skier Rushan Minigulov, a Russian skier and biathlete Alyona Remezova, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Kirill Mikhailov, Russian alpine skier and flag bearer of the Russian flag at the opening ceremony, Valery Redkozubov, Russian alpine skier Alexei Bugayev, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Svetlana Konovalova, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Yulia Budaleeva, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Nikolai Polukin, Russian skier and biathlon athlete Grigory Murygin, and a Russian biathlon athlete and skier Alexander Frankov. And now the flag is almost near the protocol stage. And in several minutes, this broad banner made of 3 stripes of red, blue, and white color is going to be up the flag post. The people are standing, prepared for the performance of the Russian anthem. So there are many interpretations of the colors of the Russian flag. The white color symbolizes frankness, and red symbolizes the courage, bravery, also magnanimity, and blue stands for courage again. So people are standing to listen to the Russian national anthem.
Просим всех встать.
And now we see the fireworks of gold, yellow and red color. And over the stadium we see the thousands of fires of the fireworks. The singers are leaving the field of play, and from all the sides of the stadium 462 dancers emerged. They're dressed in bright jumpsuits of green, yellow, pink, orange and salad colors. They are wearing caps the same color as their jumpsuits. The costumes also have luminous and light reflecting inserts and also light reflecting belts. We hear the Night on Bald Mountain by Mussorgsky, which was written in 1862. That's where the composer tried to use his fantasy and imagination and also the folk fairy tales. He has drawn a musical picture of the night on the Bald Mountains by the witches. The artists are making a circle and they are rotating. All the artists, they split into 4 groups and they stand at different corners of the field of play. The participants in this composition are running, are scattered around the field of play, and part of them are leaving the field of play. Other artists, they start making different geometrical shapes and patterns from under the ceiling. 2 metal structures are lowered down. One of them is violet and yellow, the other one is blue and green. The frames reach the floor, and an aerialist is inside each of the structures. The aerialists are making somersaults within the structures, making different aerials and taking different shapes and poses. We see the projection of small and big geometrical figures on the floor. The combinations made of rounds, of rectangles, triangles of different colors. Green, yellow, orange, blue, red, white. And now the dancers become part of the pieces of abstract art. Abstract art is about creating certain color combinations of different geometrical shapes in order to rouse certain associations. We see that the visual language of shapes, of lines and colors is being used by the abstract art. Now, the artists are standing still and 4 jugglers with cubes, holding cubes, emerge on the field of play. They are throwing the cubes up, they're rotating and twisting the cubes, and the dancers in the colorful overalls and jumpsuits are bringing to the field of play again the cubes of green, yellow and blue color. More than 300 cubes are being used in this scene. The projection on the field of play right now brings the spectators to the streets of a megapolis, of a megacity. And the structures of different shape and different height is being brought to the field of play. Some of the structures have inclines, semicircular surfaces. Other structures are made of cubes and are multi-tier. This looks like a rollerdrome or a ramp prepared for the artists of the next scene. And that's when the BMX freestylers, skateboarders, rollerbladers emerge. They are dressed in the jumpsuits of pink, yellow and red color. Some of them are wearing hats. The skateboarders, rollerbladers and BMX freestylers are making different tricks. We see that Their bicycles and skateboards are lit in different colors. They are using the ramps, they are jumping, they are somersaulting, making flips. And also the tracers perform, they are sliding on the ramps. These are the parkour performers. This is how they overcome certain obstacles such as rails, as ramps, walls, different other elements of the architectural nature. The tracers are making different jumps, they are overcoming certain obstacles, they are making jumps and somersaults over their shoulder, being supported by the cubes, so the frames are lifted up, and now we see these extreme performers and athletes on the field of play. In this scene we hear the music of Justice, piece of music. First, this band made remixes of pop singers, then they performed as DJs. This band created a lot of electronic music, which is very appropriate in order to interpret and describe the life in a big city. 31 performer participates in this piece of scene. 31 parkour performer, BMX, 5 BMX freestylers, 4 skateboarders and 2 railboarders. The performers are leaving the field of play, and the dancers dressed in colorful jumpsuits are moving the cubes to the center of the field of play, and they are making other shapes, other patterns of a bigger size right there. So what are they doing? What are they creating? They are moving closer and closer to the center of the field of play. The ramps of the roller drum are being carried away from the field of play. And now we hear the music from a computer game. And we see the unfolding of the Tetris computer game live on the field of play. The same thing is projected onto the field of play. This game was invented in the USSR by Alexei Paventnov and was presented for the public in 1984. The dancers are simulating the Tetris game onto fields. Major colorful blocks are being combined, and it is accompanied by the tune, which is well known because of this game. They're making different combinations of the patterns. The figures, which consist of 4 blocks, are dropped onto the big glass, and they are falling until they reach the floor, until they reach the bottom. If all the gaps are filled, then one level would be cleared, would be removed, and if not, then one more block would be erected at top of the previous level. These are the rules of the game. This is what we see on the field of play. We are still watching the field of this game, and now the third field of Tetris game emerges, and we see game over inscription, which means that the game is over in Russian. Part of the artists are dressed in colorful costumes and jumpsuits. They are living along with the blocks which were used for the Tetris game. Part of the artists are moving to the western grandstand, and the rest of the cubes remain behind the artists. From the southern and northern grandstands, 14 aerialists emerge. They are dressed in silver jumpsuits, tight suits. They are flying over the field of play, imitating and simulating running, jogging. The aerialists are making somersaults, and they start slowly dropping to the floor, to the blocks which were used for the Tetris game.
Pulsing rhythm of the Kashmir song performed by Led Zeppelin from Britain is performed together with another song from Mission Impossible. Now, the aerial performers have descended to the blocks. They fix them and they slowly move up. Blocks move up slowly, and finally we get the understanding that in the air the blocks would form the impossible word, which moves at a height of 15 meters, and beneath the actors create the Russian word for impossible. Now the word suspense under the stadium, and the spectacular fireworks light up. Each word has an LED illumination. Aerial performers, imitating as they would be running, leave the stadium. On the field of play, there's Alexei Chuvashev, an athlete in a wheelchair. The athlete who was shown during the countdown. He is the master of sports. He is the Paralympic champion of 2012 in London, in Caucasus, during a military operation. He was injured and he lost both of his legs. Would that be possible to climb up and reach the distance to the letters? Thanks to his hands only, he climbs up and he proves that the impossible is actually possible. He shows great proof of courage and fearlessness, that people can reach their dream by their will. Alexei reaches the 15-meter height. After reaching this height, Alexei Chuvashev places the apostrophe between I and am, transforming the impossible word into I am possible. Performers form a comma, and they also transform the Russian word impossible into two words. No, it is possible. The apostrophe is illuminated with fireworks. We see fire drops falling from this apostrophe, and we see fireworks outside the stadium. We once again get this idea that the impossible is actually possible, that by the will we can make everything possible. The next part of the program is called The Heart of the Paralympics. On the screens and on the field of play, a video is being displayed. The proofs and the emotions and the barriers that the athletes have overcome, everything that appeared to be impossible is actually possible, and Paralympic athletes show us that it is actually possible to do that. Several fragments from different sports are shown. It's the alpine ski, cross-country ski, para-snowboard. We see how spectators support athletes, how they win despite all the difficulties, how they encourage themselves. We see their smiles, we see their tears when losing. They fall to once again stand up and continue. They make a mistake in order for the next time not to make this mistake. Then, again, the "I am possible" inscription is lit up once again.
Ladies and gentlemen, the flags of nations.
On
Дамы и господа,
the field of play,
национальные флаги.
the Earth from the space is being displayed. We see a special ramp in the center of the stadium, and flag bearers from the countries participating in the Paralympics emerge on the field of play. Athletes are already on their stands. Flag bearers appear following the Cyrillic alphabet order. The Russian team goes the last one, following the tradition of the Paralympics. Ladies are accompanying the athletes. Now there are no distances between the flag bearers, as there are no distances between the athletes at the Paralympics. 45 countries are represented by several thousands of the athletes. And once again, let us remind you that Russia ranks number 1 in the overall ranking of the Paralympics. In total, Russia accounts for 80 medals. Germany holds the second place. It has 9 gold medals. Then Canada, it has 7 medals. It should be mentioned that Team Ukraine was among these three first countries. Now it holds the 4th place, but on the overall ranking, it still holds number 3. Flag bearers split and they stand next to the protocol stage. The spectators welcome the flag bearers. They wave their hands, greeting the spectators, and the spectators do the very same thing. Kirill Mikhailov bears the Russian flag. He's 30 years old. He's a cross-country skier. He won a gold and a silver and a bronze medal at these Paralympics. And above these stadium, there's a great fireworks show being set up, congratulating athletes that have shown all they are capable of at these games. LED poles are now illuminated with white. They show the spirit of motion. Athletes form a semicircle around the protocol stage, and inside the stadium we see multicolor fireworks. Yellow, pink and orange colors and fireworks are being set up outside the stadium too.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Wang Yundai Achievement Award to honor the triumph of human spirit.
Дамы и господа, награда за достижение Ван Юндай во славу триумфа человеческого духа.
On the screens, there's a video shown
have let nothing hold them back from competing as elite athletes at the top of their
Paralympic moments. We are told that Van Hyundai, a tireless champion of the Paralympic movement, vice president of the IPC, will now award athletes who've been not only performant but also inspiring to the world. This lady dedicated her life to treat people with impairments. She suffered from polio, but found strength to go on, and in 1988 the IPC underlined her involvement in the Paralympic movement and created this award in her name for those who are fearless, who move forward, and the Paralympic delegations, all Paralympic delegations can bid for this prize. First 6 finalists are being selected, 3 men and 3 women. After that, 1 man and 1 woman are being selected, and the prize is always awarded during the ceremony, the closing ceremony of the Paralympic Games. Lights illuminate the stage.
Награды атлетам вручают доктор Ван Юндай и мистер Эндрю Парсонс, вице-президент Международного паралимпийского комитета.
Vivian Mentel-Spey, Netherlands snowboard cross.
Vivian Mentel-Spey, Нидерланды. Пара-сноуборд.
"41-year-old athletes, gold medalists at these Paralympic Games." She's awarded with a medal and flowers. She welcomes and greets the spectators.
Австралия. Горные лыжи.
This man won a bronze in the super combined standing. He is awarded a medal and flowers. Once again, very pretty ladies, all in white,
Ladies and gentlemen, please
offer
us in celebrating
and assist
all athletes of
at this
Sochi
ceremony.
2014 Paralympic Winter Games.
Дамы и господа, присоединяйтесь к чествованию атлетов Паралимпийских зимних игр Сочи 2014.
Flag bearers slowly go away from the stage. They wave the flags of their countries. The award winners are still standing at the protocol stage. On the stage, in diagonal directions, move the dancers. 220 men and women in Cossack costumes. They perform a welcome dance, Cossack Purka, the national folk dance of the Cossacks, an energy-full dance requiring great physical endurance. Nikolai Kuber, the composer of the music this dance is danced with. Modern elements of modern choreography are being used here. Men wear red trousers, blue jackets and white hats. The same for women, just with red skirts. These colors represent the flag of Russia. And now the traditional music is being changed for the modern music. 30 dancers perform a break dance. They wear modern clothes with the very same red, blue and white colors. South Bronx was the birthplace of this hip-hop style. This is the oldest hip-hop style. Two main variants exist: the upper and the lower breakdance. Dancers combine both, making the dance especially entertaining. Lower breakdance require not only skills but a great physical shape. They do somersaults, acrobatics, but still, this is a dance. And the first thing dancers have to know is that they have to know how to dance. Dance in front of the Western stand does somersaults. He has his belt being illuminated. Other dancers also carry LED lights in their belts. In the center of the field of play, there are people in wheelchair and crutches. They show a great ability to control their bodies. They perform movements following the rhythm of the music. Viktor Kochkin, Danila Stakhov, born without feet, without legs. Viktor Krivule, a wheelchair dancer. They can dance breakdance much better than any average non-impaired person. They perform a modern dance together with predators and original breakers and illusion of exist dancing groups. Actors are standing still.
The Cossacks, well, the She Cossacks, are leaving the field of play, moving towards the northern and southern exits. The boys who did the modern dances, welcoming the spectators by raising their hands up in the air.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the new members of the International Paralympic Committee Athletes Council.
Дамы и господа, встречайте новых членов комиссии спортсменов Международного паралимпийского комитета.
On the field of play, we see a projection of the patchwork
Ice sledge hockey.
or the quilt.
Эскельхаген, Норвегия, следж-хоккей на льду.
This gentleman is a bronze medalist of the Sochi Paralympic Games. He
Финляндия.
is a member of Team Norway. He plays sledge hockey. The spectators are cheering
Cross-country skiing.
the athletes on the protocol stage.
Россия. Лыжные
And of course, they're cheering Mikhail Terentiev. The whole stadium is cheering for him. He is the Russian Paralympic athlete, General Secretary of the Russian Paralympic Committee, and sport figure. He's a Paralympic champion. He's an alpine skier.
Встречайте представителей волонтеров
He's also sitting on the wheelchair.
зимних игр Сочи 2014.
On the stage,
All athletes.
we're also seeing now three
Committee Athletes Council.
people wearing volunteer uniforms,
To the volunteer
and we see a large group of
for their contribution
people,
to Sochi
the cast,
2014
have just entered the field of play.
От имени всех спортсменов
They've run onto the field of play.
Международного паралимпийского комитета преподнесут подарок волонтерам в знак благодарности за их вклад в Паралимпийские зимние игры Сочи 2014.
The people on the protocol stage are hugging each other. The new IPC Athletes Council members have presented the volunteers with flower bouquets, and now they're waving their hands with bouquets,
Дамы и господа, присоединяйтесь
greeting
к
the
чествованию
spectators.
волонтеров Сочи 2014.
8,000 volunteers worked at the Paralympics Winter Games. They hailed from 60 countries from around the world. Now, light is directed on the people in green, blue, and red outfits. They're wearing ponchos and headgear of the same color. They're forming the shape, the pattern of the international symbol of the International Paralympic Committee, three agitas. From the Latin, it means I move. And these figures stand for mind, body, and unbroken spirit of a Paralympic athlete. And we hear Cosmic Love by Florence and the Machine. The athletes are moving on their axis, rotating on their axis. Their capes and ponchos are moving upwards, and now they're moving towards the center stage, and we see a group of 51 volunteers wearing volunteer uniform moving center stage. And the cast dressed in red, blue, and green ponchos and carrying torches form the shape. What kind of a shape is that? And we see it is a heart. They made a giant heart, green to the right, blue to the left, and red in the middle. And we see volunteers right in the heart of hearts, and the whole stadium is now welcoming the volunteers. Three guys, groups of four people, three guys and one girl. Three guys are carrying the girl on their arms, and now the lights are dimmed. The cast and the volunteers have torch lights in their hands, and we see the heart pulsating, as it were, and now people are spreading across the whole field of play. They formed 3 color squares. The ponchoed people are bending down, facing the volunteers who are standing along the 3 squares. The volunteers are carrying white torchlights. Volunteers are bowing down to the stadium, waving their hands, and the people on the field of play are applauding the volunteers. We see another reconfiguration, and now we see the word. Ura is the Russian for hooray, blue, red, and A and white exclamation mark. Hooray is the cry of victory. The victory we are celebrating today, the victory which all Paralympic athletes have won at these Paralympic Winter Games. Now the lights are dimmed.
Paralympic anthem and the lowering of the Paralympic flag.
Дамы и господа, звучит паралимпийский гимн и опускается паралимпийский флаг.
It is dusk
Всех встать!
at the stadium, center stage. From under this stage, we see a platform which is being raised, and we hear the sounds of a grand piano. We see a grand piano appearing center stage, and we see Oleg Akuratov, a talented young pianist who's been visually impaired since birth, and he's going to perform a new arrangement of the anthem of the Paralympic Winter Games, of the Paralympic movement, and the Paralympic flag is being lowered to the accompaniment of the Paralympic anthem. The Paralympic flag has been lowered from the flagpole,
Please welcome the president of the International Paralympic
and
Committee, Sir Philip Craven. Accompanied
during the performance of the Paralympic anthem, we saw a whirlpool of piano keys projected on the ground. Now the official flag handover ceremony is about to begin. The Paralympic flag will be handed over by Anatoly Pahomov, mayor of Sochi, to the president of IPC, Sir Philip Craven, and Sir Philip Craven will in turn hand it over to the mayor of the next host city, Pyeongchang, Sore Lee.
The mayor of Sochi will hand the Paralympic flag to the International Paralympic Committee president. He then entrusts
On the stage, we see
city of the next Paralympic Winter
the officials and the mayor of the city of Sochi, as tradition has it,
Паралимпийский флаг президент
has waved the flag 4 times, handed over to the President of the International Paralympic Committee, Sir Philip Craven, who is in turn waving it 4 times above his head. And he has just handed over to the mayor of Pyeongchang, Sok-rae Lee. And to the accompaniment of the national anthem, we are about to see the raising of the national flag of South Korea. The anthem will be performed by tenor Seulong Choi.
Ladies and gentlemen, as is customary, and for those who can, please stand for the national anthem of the Republic of Korea.
Presently, people are on their feet waiting for the raising of the national flag of South Korea. The stadium is half lit, and now we're seeing a video introducing the next host city of the next Paralympic Winter Games, Pyeongchang. The host city shows Seoul, the Korean capital, a captivating city where 5,000 years of tradition coexists with, up to the moment, global culture. The image of the city, the image of beautiful snow-covered hills, and now everything changes. And we see highlights of sports events, winter sport events, curling, wheelchair curling, alpine skiing, sledge hockey, cross-country skiing, and this inspires us, and we're waiting in anticipation for the next Paralympic Winter Games. The official presentation of Pyeongchang is about to begin. In semi-half-lit, on the half-lit field of stage, we see a small platform, and we see a youth next to the platform. Around the platform, on the field of play, we see projections of a snow-covered field. Snow-covered land prepares us for the coming winter. An artist, a youth, a Korean youth, Chung Woo-sok, a painter. He is known for his genre of quick painting by black ink. He paints moving human figures, and he is painting and he is using prostheses. In the middle of the snow-covered field, he is painting the dreams and hopes of Paralympian athletes. And now we see from these stands, to the accompaniment of Hariram and Sohi Song singing, we see a group of Korean girls from Pyeongchang province. they're dancing out an invitation, welcoming us to the next Paralympic Winter Games host city. And they have broad sleeves and white dresses. They are inviting us to the capital of the next Winter Games. On the field of play, a Korean singer is performing a song called Pyeongchang Dream. We see wheelchair dancers appearing from the north and south of the stadium. We see bright LED discs, blue, yellow, red, black LED colors on the wheels, traditional Korean colors. They symbolize unlimited opportunities, freedom in movement, freedom in dance, freedom in life. Next to the eastern stand, we see a choir of young performers called Gangneung. Young singers from the city of Gangneung. They will sing the song called Pyeongchang Dream. The wheelchair dancers and the dancing young girls are still rotating and moving around the stage. The painter has stepped off the stage. His work is done, and he's moving slowly towards the western stand, towards the presidential box, while the girls in silver, with silver fans and in silver white dresses, are still dancing. The youth is approaching the stand. Dance is continuing. On the protocol stage, the choir singers and Ariumna, a visually impaired singer, they're singing the dream of Pyeongchang, as well as Jaehyun Park, a Korean winner, a youth who participated in a TV show, Superstar Capit 5 star show, and they are singing their song, and the dream painted by the painter is coming to life. The Korean dancers are still dancing on the field of play, and the wheelchair dancers are also dancing. The wheelchair dancers are telling us the story of overcoming any barriers and finding your way to take us on a lifelong journey. We also see a pair of dancers. Hong In Kim, a hearing impaired dancer. He is a winner of the dance competition. Now they are performing their dance routine. They're dancing, they're moving to the right, to the left. Well-toned bodies of dancers are moving in a whirlwind. And harmonious dance is actually taking us to Pyeongchang. In conclusion of the presentation, on the field of play we see a projection of Pyeongchang 2018 logo. It symbolizes the idea of joint journey together around the world. The logo has disappeared, and the wheelchair dancers are continuing their movements. Other performers are doing their dance routines. Next to the eastern stand and at the center of the stage, we see now the letters Pyeongchang, a city uniting the dreams of all people around the world. The performers have come to a standstill.
And are greeting the spectators. The lights are dimmed, and the artists are leaving the field of play. On the grandstands, we see the flashlights and the most important moments of the Paralympic Games. We see the footage of different sports, Paralympic sports. Most emotional episodes, biathlon, alpine skiing. The music charms us and reminds us of the events which were held in the year 2014. The events which made us worry, made us halt in suspense and sympathize with the athletes. Right now we can all remember that, and it will stay put in our hearts for years to come. The screens also show other episodes, the most memorable events. All that allows us, all of us, to memorize all that, and it will stay in our memory. But we understand that when next Paralympic Games come, that will continue. And next Paralympic Games would be held in Pyeongchang in 2018.
For the preparation and staging of the Sochi 2014 Olympic
The official ceremony
Winter Games. Dmitry
of the
and the President of the
Korean Republic is over,
Sir Philip Craven.
and now
по подготовке и проведению Олимпийских и Паралимпийских зимних
we see the officials standing on the protocol stage. Deputy Prime Minister of the Russian government, Dmitry Kozak, and the President of the International Paralympic Committee, Sir Philip Craven.
Уважаемый президент Крейвен и члены Международного паралимпийского комитета, уважаемый президент Российской Федерации, уважаемые атлеты, организаторы и гости игр, дорогие друзья, сегодня Россия и весь мир провожают первые в истории нашей страны зимние игры. Эти игры вышли далеко за рамки спортивного состязания. Они показали, на что способны люди разных стран и национальностей, разных культур и традиций, когда их объединяет одна цель и окрыляет мечта. Мы шли к этому грандиозному событию 7 долгих лет. Благодаря колоссальной поддержке игр в России все взятые обязательства были выполнены точно и в срок. Успех в Сочи был бы невозможен без деятельного участия наших друзей из Международного Олимпийского и Паралимпийского комитетов. Огромное вам спасибо за ваше доверие и неоценимую помощь. Все спортивные объекты были построены с нуля. В результате был создан самый компактный международный центр для занятий спортом. Город Сочи превратился в круглогодичный деловой и туристический центр мирового уровня. Столь кардинальные изменения стали возможны благодаря труду десятков тысяч олимпийских строителей, энергетиков, работников транспорта, всей команды организаторов игр. Спасибо вам за вашу самоотверженную работу. Радикальная модернизация городской среды была бы невозможна без поддержки жителей Сочи. Хочу поблагодарить сочинцев и всех жителей Кубани за ваше понимание и терпение. Отдельные слова благодарности я хочу адресовать инвесторам, российским предпринимателям и всем партнерам игр за ваш весомый вклад в этот беспрецедентный по масштабам инвестиционный проект. Благодаря играм в стране сформировано также огромное нематериальное наследие. Удвоилось количество людей, регулярно занимающихся спортом. Игры укрепили в нас ценности здорового образа жизни. В России изменилось отношение общества к людям с инвалидностью. Паралимпийские игры стали катализатором наших усилий по созданию безбарьерной среды. Игры закончились, но мы обещаем, что эта важнейшая работа будет продолжена в масштабах всей нашей огромной страны. Благодаря играм всего за несколько лет в России мощное развитие получило волонтерское движение. Улыбки, отзывчивость волонтеров еще долго будут одним из самых теплых воспоминаний о нашей гостеприимной стране. Огромная благодарность всем волонтерам Сочи 2014. Общественный порядок, жизнь и здоровье участников и гостей игр обеспечивали сотрудники органов правопорядка и безопасности. Для гостей и участников игр эта колоссальная работа была почти незаметна. Но ее результатом мы все можем гордиться. Спасибо за вашу стойкость и профессионализм. Главными героями Олимпийских и Паралимпийских игр стали спортсмены. Благодаря их феноменальному мужеству и целеустремленности все мы поняли, что главная победа в жизни – это победа над самим собой. Мы снова поверили, что ради великих целей невозможное становится возможным. От лица нашей страны я хочу сердечно поблагодарить самых сильных и отважных мужчин и женщин планеты, всех атлетов за вдохновляющий пример победы духа над любыми обстоятельствами. Спасибо всем болельщикам, которые приехали поддержать атлетов на спортивных аренах, а также миллиардам телезрителей по всему миру, которые сопереживали и болели у экранов телевизоров. Мы чувствовали вашу поддержку. Игры в Сочи стали не только праздником спорта и культуры, но и позволили всему миру увидеть современную Россию. Уверен, что эти зимние, жаркие наши игры надолго останутся в сердцах миллионов людей на всей планете. пришло время прощаться. Но мы говорим до свидания, до новых встреч. Добро пожаловать в Россию! С огромным удовольствием я передаю слово президенту Международного паралимпийского комитета сэру Филиппу Крейвену.
Athletes, officials, distinguished guests, Paralympic sports fans from all over the world, Dobre Wieczór! Tonight, I simply want to say thank you. Thank you to each and every one of you for making these games so special, so memorable, and so compelling that not one of us wants them to end. In 2007, we started this journey together, a journey that has seen Sochi transformed into a barrier-free city and a blueprint for accessibility and inclusivity throughout Russia. Thank you to President Vladimir... I'll start again. Thank you to President Vladimir Putin and the Russian Federation for showing a willingness to change and, even more pleasingly, an even greater desire to implement further change. Thank you to Deputy Prime Minister Dmitry Kozak for your unfaltering 7 years of support. And thank you, of course, to Dmitry Chernyshenko and the Sochi 2014 Organizing Committee for delivering a Games that have smashed many records and broken down even more barriers. At last week's opening ceremony, I called upon you all to have barrier-free minds. But how are your barrier-free minds feeling tonight? Do you sense a greater degree of liberation, whether here in Sochi, in the wider Russia, or throughout the world? Well, I do, I can tell you. The Paralympic spirit has united and infected us all. Proud Paralympians, your inspirational athletic performances have redefined the boundaries of possibility. You have shown the world that absolutely anything is possible and that life is about amazing capabilities and not perceived deficiencies. With record numbers of highly enthusiastic spectators supporting you all, you have shown what real grit and determination looks like. Through record TV audiences and media coverage, you have opened up the eyes of the world to what the human spirit can achieve. I want to congratulate Olympic Broadcasting Services for their scintillating imagery. And we all must pay special thanks to the extraordinary alpine, biathlon, and cross-country skiing course preparation staff and volunteers. But what of the Sochi 2014 volunteers? No matter what the weather, you have always melted our hearts with your most natural of smiles. High five to the volunteers. Dai Piaz Volanturo! Together with the athletes, the staff and officials, you really are the Sochi 2014 change makers. I thank you all and say with great pleasure, Sochi 2014, the best Paralympic Winter Games ever. A Games that showed miracles know no borders. Finally, the time has come for me to declare the Sochi 2014 Paralympic Winter Games closed. And I call upon Paralympic athletes from all over the world to meet again in Pyeongchang, Korea, in 4 years' time, where once again you will inspire and excite the world with your sporting excellence. Spasibo Sochi! Spasiba Россия! Spasiba the world! Spasiba! Spasiba!
The screens and the field of play show the projections of the most spectacular moments, the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games in Sochi 2014. How it was. The whole world saw Russia as a country with a rich cultural history. The whole world became familiar to the history of Russia. Now we see the extracts of the closing ceremony of the Olympic Games in Sochi. We see the mascots who are bidding farewell to the spectators. We see the spectators, the ballet dancers, the performance of the song on the glass harp, and the best moments of the opening ceremony of the year 2014 of the Paralympic Games, the firebirds, the aerialists, acrobats, the Russian flag, icebreaker called Peace or Mir, which floats among the ice, and the feather of a firebird which is transformed into the Paralympic torch. The athletes who lit the Paralympic flame in the Olympic Park. The luminous poles, LED bars, are changing the colors and create the atmosphere of a miraculous world on the field of play. A children chorus or choir emerge on the field of play. They are holding small lights in their hands, which create a luminous trail. In front of the protocol stage, we can find another podium which emerges from the trapdoors. We see the visually impaired since birth Nafset Chenip. The visually impaired since birth Diana Gurtskaya, a singer from Russia, is also performing this song. And Jose Carreras, an outstanding world-renowned tenor. Valery Kozlovsky, a soloist, is also standing near the protocol stage. He is a student of Popov Chorus Singing Theater and Institute. He used to conduct the children's choir which performed the anthem of the Russian Federation. The central trapdoor opens and a cauldron emerges, executed in the shape of an ice cube, and the children with the spades in their hands are surrounding the cauldron. 4 soloists are still singing the song, the Paralympic anthem, which was written specifically for this ceremony by Yuri Poteyev, and the English translation was written by Kaleri Kavalerian. The projections on the field of play are changed. The luminous poles are lowered, and they are lit in red right now.
Slowly, the projection changes. Snowflakes appear. Nanset Chenib is standing in long white dress. Diana Gorskaya and Jose Carreras are standing in white clothes on the protocol stage. Everyone is standing still. LED forest now changes its color. We see snowflakes falling from the sky. The ice surface is being displayed on the whole perimeter of the stadium. Above the field of play, the flame slowly disappears, and it is the time to say goodbye. The flame disappears also at the cauldron at the Olympic Park. It is a touching moment, symbolizing the end of the 2014 Winter Paralympic Games in Sochi. After saying goodbye to the Paralympic flame, we find ourselves in the bubble world, representing the beauty and elegancy of the world. In the beginning, we hear the theremin. The instrument was patented by Russian inventor Lev Turman, aka Leon Theremin, and the music is created by changing the distance between the hands of the performer and the instrument. We see performers inside huge transparent spheres. Bubbles of different kinds have multiple colors. Close to the eastern stands, we see a huge number of small bubbles. In the center of the stage, a group of people is dancing with white umbrellas. They wear white costumes and high white hats. A young gymnast girl is moving on a bubble. Other gymnasts in silver color dresses, they keep the bubbles above their hands. Cossacks appear. They run out under a different song. All the dancers, performers, and ceremony participants slowly come back to the stage. Cossacks make a line and they perform simultaneous moves. The girl on the crystal ball, it moves towards the western stance. Dancers performing cube dance appear as well. DJ Rudenko Wake Up Song is being played. This is a very positive and cheerful music composition. Participants appear. Participants of the dancing performances appear. All dance using this emotional song, and it all looks like a very nice party that inspires. From the southern stance, the impossible inscription appears again. But now it turns into I'm possible. From the left side, the white vessel appears, which displays lights. Ludo Castelli, who was the creative director for the ceremony, says that impossible is just a word that impedes us from looking into the future and changing it. The only barrier there is the one that we create by ourselves. Impossible is a rule we have to break. Northern stand is dedicated to the Cossacks dance. Another part is dedicated to the multicolor performers. They dance next to the protocol stage. Extreme athletes also take part there. There are more than 1,000 performers, including 2010 Cossacks, 30 breakdance performers, 42 extreme athletes, racers, skaters, rollers, firemen performers, 12 bubble creators, 12 ball gymnasts, 12 artists and performers performing in the spheres. Snowflakes are all around. On the side of the ship, I Am is being displayed. DJ starts its mix. DJ appears on the protocol stage, and on the eastern stand we continue to see transparent spheres, row after row. The Olympic Park is now illuminated with a great fireworks show. It is the end of the Winter Paralympics. Vessel side is being displayed now with a digital equalizer moving together with the sound. Actors, they represent the Russian word for hooray. Commentators from the Paralympic Integration Department: Maria Nokhina, Ekaterina Romanova, Anastasia Kostuchenko, Olga Kotnina and Vitaly Koslivtsev, as well as simultaneous interpreters Alexei Maganev, Dmitry Makarov and Vladislav Kostuchenko.